You have brought this man before me as one who subverts the people. I have examined him in your presence, and do not find a case against him arising from your allegations. Neither has Herod, who has therefore sent him back to us. Obviously, this man has done nothing to deserve death. Therefore, I shall release him. Once I have taught him a lesson.
The whole crowd cried out,
"Away with this man! Release Barabbas!"
Now this Barabbas has been thrown in prison for causing an uprising in the city, and for murder. Pilate addressed him again, for he wanted Jesus to be the one he released. They shouted back,
"Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!"
What is this man guilty of? I have not discovered anything about him deserving the death penalty. Therefore, I shall chastise him and release him.
Crucify him! Crucify him!
Pilate then decreed that what they demanded should be done. He released the one they asked for, who had been thrown in prison for insurrection and murder. And he delivered Jesus up to their wishes.
Crucify him! 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 Crucify him!
As they led him away, they laid hold of one Simon the Cyrenian, who was coming in from the field. They put a crossbeam on Simon's shoulder for him to carry along behind Jesus. A great crowd of people followed him, including women who beat their breasts and lamented over him. Jesus turned to them.
Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children. The days are coming when they will say, "Happy are the sterile, the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed." Then they will call out to the mountains, "Fall on us!" To the hills, "Cover us." If they do these things in the greenwood, what will happen in the dry?
Two others, who were criminals, were led along with him to be crucified. When they came to Skull Place, it was called, they crucified him there, and the criminals as well, one on his right, the other on his left.
They know not what they do.
They divided his garments, rolling dice for them. The people stood there watching, and the leaders came jeering at him.
He's made, brother. Let him say himself if he is the Messiah of God, the chosen one.
The soldiers also made fun of him, coming forward to offer him their sour wine.
If you are the king of the Jews, say yourself.
There was an inscription over his head. This is the King of the Jews. One of the criminals hanging his crucifixion blasphemed him.
Aren't you the Messiah? Then save yourself and us.
But the other one rebuked him.
Have you no fear of God, seeing you are of the same sentence? We deserve it after all. We're only paying the price for what we have done. Jesus, remember me when you enter upon your reign.
I assure you, on this day you will be with me in paradise.
It was now about midday, and darkness came over the whole land until mid-afternoon with an eclipse of the sun. The curtain in the sanctuary was torn in two. Jesus uttered a loud cry.
Father! Into your hands I commend my spirit!
After he said this, he died. The centurion, upon seeing what had happened, gave glory to God.
Surely this was his command.
After the crowd which had assembled for the spectacle witnessed what had happened, they returned beating their breasts. All his friends and the women who had accompanied him from Galilee were standing at a distance. watching everything. There was a man named Joseph, an upright and holy member of the Sanhedrin, who had not been associated with their plans or their actions. He was from Arimathea, a Jewish town, and he looked expectantly for the reign of God. The man approached Pilate with a request for Jesus' body. He took it down, wrapped it in fine linen, and laid it in a tomb hewn out of the rock, in which no one had yet been buried. That was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was about to begin. The women who had come with him from Galilee followed along behind. They saw the tomb and how his body was buried. They went back home to prepare spices and perfumes. They observed the Sabbath as a day of rest in accordance with the law.
The Gospel of the Lord.